Good evening.
Good evening.
We're getting a lot of people on the channel. Just want to say hello to everybody that's on here watching these videos. We really appreciate it. We haven't talked about Ringo Starr. Would you care to embellish on the man? I mean, you worked with him on All Things Must Pass, and
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, Richie, he was great.
Where did you first meet? Was that the place?
At the sessions.
Can you sort of like give us a rundown of how that went down?
Well, when Ringo came, he wasn't there the first part. I think Alan White played on the first 6 songs on the album. And I don't know when Ringo came in the picture because we had double drums, and those guys play exactly alike. Alan White played just like Ringo, put it like that. But when he showed up, he's getting his kit, you know. So he had 2 drum kits, right? And he was getting it all set up and real simple. You know, Richie's setup was real simple. But he told Mal Evans, he says, "Mal, get me some tea towels." And so Mal brought a load of tea towels, you know, over his arm. and Richie got some tape and put the tea towel over the head, tape, boom, 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 do, 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 you know, and just tuned it by laying the tea towel and baffled them, baffled out and taped them, and it was just like totally cool. That's how I got all the sound on Revolution. That's a real good, because that's what it reminded me of, what his kit sounded like on the song Revolution.
That must have been a trip.
Oh, it's way cool. I mean, it's real. I can't say any other word but the organic word, and I hate that word, but it was a real natural thing for him to do. A simple setup for a kit, and the tuning of it was as simple as it could be, you know. It really was. There's a difference in using like all these fancy tuners for your guitar or just tuning your guitar the old-fashioned way.
So he left the towel taped to the drum?
Yeah.
Which drum was he putting that on? The
all
snare?
Of them.
He put a tea towel on every
on the
drum.
snare and on the toms and on big toms on the ground here.
Is this something that he would do with the Beatles when they were doing?
Yeah, that was how he
it developed
his
into
sound.
that, or
yeah, that was his sound. Like I said, the first thing I thought of was Revolution. You know, their song Revolution. You could
very distinct,
killer drums. You know, and it might be the one. I got blisters on my fingers. But I had Sunny Heights for a long time.
That was
long enough, and that was Ringo's old house.
Right.
And when he and his wife Maureen left, John Lennon and Yoko moved in while their place on the estate was getting worked on. And when I moved into Sunny Heights, I moved in because my house, White Barn, burned down. It burned up. The inside was burned.
That's what we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, and but when I had Sunny Heights, I had a hell of a time. I had my own pub in the house, the Flying Cow.
So Ringo knew you were in there. Didn't George hand it over to you?
Yeah, he gave me the keys. He said, "Here you go. Welcome home."
Get out of my house. You could do
No, he had plenty of room at Friar Park. But no, it was good to have my own place. It's a 9-acre estate on terraced estate.
the photograph of you on the back in your book. It's in there. That's where you're at Sunny Heights.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun living there. It had a cinema and sewing room and.
Did you sew?
Yeah, believe it or not, I had a brother's sewing machine.
What did you sew? What were you sewing?
Oh, I don't know, just stuff, you know.
Were you sewing things on your jeans or something?
Yeah, you know, just stupid stuff, you know.
Well, that's pretty cool.
That's what I was doing.
So, do you recall meeting Ringo for the first time?
No, no. It was just like we've always known each other. You know, it's just like when I met George, it was like we knew each other.
Well, when we spoke on the phone, he said, "I'll never forget Bobby Whitlock."
Oh yeah,
I'll
that's
never
right.
forget
In
Bobby
France.
Whitlock. Yeah, twice he said that to me on the phone.
Yeah, we when we went to our friend's place in Saint Tropez. That's only a few years back. Mm-hmm. And Ringo's
manager.
Yeah, manager, attorney was there.
And he called him. And he put
he called Richie.
Well, he's apologizing.
I was on the phone and I said, I gotta, let me hand you over to Coco. I mean, I can't have a Beatle on the phone and I'll let Coco speak. So I handed it over to Coco.
Right. That would be me, and I was thoroughly embarrassed. I didn't know what to say, so he filled in the spots, which was great.
Oh, yeah, he's a lovely man.
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys were playing, and Ringo showed up several days after into the session.
Yeah, and well, I'm telling you, it was just everything that went down. Well, it was like it was all choreographed or planned ahead, but it wasn't. You know, it was all happening real natural.
How long did Ringo stay? The rest of the sessions?
Yeah. When he came, he stayed.
Did he bring anybody with him, or was he by himself?
No, he came to play.
Was he hanging out with George at all, or was it just strictly playing?
It was all business. There was no hanging out, none of that. We didn't hang around and, shoot the shit or anything in the middle of it all. No, hell no. We were playing. It was all, you got 14 people in there playing in the studio. You don't have time to shoot the breeze. We do that later after we're finished doing what we're here to do. So we got on with the business at hand, and everybody, as they arrived, they got their act together, and Eric got his thing tuned up, and he's ready. Everybody's ready. George comes around, plays a song, and you got your part and all this, and goes down and plays it for Badfinger, and those guys down there, they get overlooked quite a lot because in everything because they were at the other end of the studio, and they stayed to themselves the whole time.
And what were Badfinger doing on the record exactly?
Playing acoustic guitars. That's what they did. Yeah, there was 3 guys down there, Joey Mullen and I can't remember the other 2, but it might have been 4 of them. But I know there were 3 of them. But they were on the right up against the wall, and they had their own. And George would go down there with acoustic guitar and play for them. And I said, "Okay, you guys got it." And then it was like roll tape, and so let's do another one.
What was the first song that Ringo had played on?
I don't know. If I told you that I knew all the order of everything, I'd be lying, and I don't know the order of everything. Well, it wasn't your record. So. It all happened as it happened. Nobody ever thought, well, this is the 5th song we've done.
Of course not.
No, hell, nobody's thinking about anything like that. This is just getting on, doing it right, and
Well, do you recall anybody sort of stopping and chatting about anything? Or was there any difficulties happening during the recordings?
No, went smooth as silk, except for when I broke the string on the piano. That kind of stopped everything. On Beware of Darkness, George asked me to come in and play, and that's the first time I'd ever played piano. I mean, I had just played in the jam in the little studio, and he came in and he said, "Hey, well, I want you to come in, your gospel background, so why don't you come in and play on this song?" I said, "All right." And it was Beware of Darkness. And I mean, and so I wanted it to be big sounding and really big. and I just hit that bottom C just the right. I don't know. Might have been a karate blow. I'm not for sure. John Fusco could tell you that key or chi thing, you know. But broke this big string as big as my little finger. It just went through the whole piano. I had just sat down to do "Beware of Darkness."
Oh, it was the beginning.
And the first thing that happened was I break the biggest string on the piano, and so we had to stop and wait on the guy to come and put a string on the piano.
I mean, no one's expecting that. No one's expecting that. That must have been.
Everybody was shocked because I mean we couldn't go any further.
Right.
And I don't know where they got some guy with a string. He came in and
I'll bet he was happy.
he came in, tuned it up, and that's what. But I know that if you listen to it now that I've said it, you can tell the sonic difference
The new
on
string.
the new string as opposed to the rest of the strings, especially on that bottom register.
Sure.
You know, there's one that just hits. I mean, and that's that new string, you know. So, I mean, it came in perfect, you know, because it was kind of sounding same-ish, you know, the same-ish piano thing, you know. But, yeah, that was my first.
Leave it to Bobby.
Yeah. There goes the whole thing, you know.
When the sessions, I mean, obviously you guys must have had a great time. You were eating Indian food and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
When it finally wound down, did you know like the day before it was finishing, when it was about to finish?
Yeah, well, that was when Pete Drake came over to play my whistle. All things must pass. But that was really the last of those sessions, because then George was starting to do overdubs. We did the My Sweet Lord, and that was just George.
Were you and Eric you were doing backgrounds? Was it when everybody left? You were, of course, doing the overdubs for the...
we did background.
So there was only a few of you left in the studio then, at that point.
Yeah. And we're just getting, you know, things right. And then Eric, well, the night that we did My Sweet Lord, Eric didn't show for that one. So that was just me and George singing backgrounds on My Sweet Lord. And it all happened that way. And then we actually moved out to Friar Park, with just some other stuff. You know, we kept recording things, and there was more. We had so much material. That's how it turned out to be the three. There was enough for another.
Which is what happened.
Which is what happened. It turned out to be that one right there, Living in the Material World.
Right.
You know, Try Some, Buy Some, and some other songs that came. That's I was playing that big organ. They got another big pump organ that was just awesome. The Beatles used it on their stuff, you know.
And by the way, you were the one who was playing the harmonium on that. No one knew how to play that, did they?
No.
So that call was yours.
Yeah, it was my idea to use a harmonium pump organ. It was my idea to do that, because not everything like My Sweet Lord and Isn't It a Pity. Some of these songs, most of them actually lend themselves to that delicate part, you know, with that reed sound. And that's what the pump organ is. And then when it comes time for, you know, Let It Down, or, you know, on the B3, forget about it. You know, I had that baby. They probably still can't figure out how that organ sounds so good. But I got in the back and did my little thing with a screwdriver and cranked it out and everything.
Well, I was going to ask, when you initially heard these songs, was it at George's house? Was it at Fire Park?
Yeah, most of them, yeah.
Did he play them to you acoustically
Yeah.
before the sessions?
No, not before we went in. This is the song. No, before the sessions even started.
Oh, so you heard them before you even record them?
Yeah. I was living in Friar Park.
And he was just playing them to you.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about that? That must have been pretty
Well,
amazing. What did he play?
I'll tell you what I thought about him. I thought that what he was doing was so far different from where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
I was see, every time when I would hear it, I would relate it to like I got Stax Volt catalog here,
Right.
Delaney and Bonnie. I'm hot out of Delaney and Bonnie. That's just the stomping rock and roll Southern shouting in church, and then oh my Lord, my sweet Lord. I mean, it's like so I couldn't bring that other thing into this beautiful, delicate stuff, but it had to have that whole sound to it. It had to have that pump organ.
Was he trying to get your opinion about these songs?
Yeah. He didn't tell anybody anything, and he wanted everybody's input.
How far ahead of that recording of All Things Must Pass did you hear these songs? Do you know?
Well, it was getting it all together. I can't say 2 months from before or anything, because that's not how life wasn't working like that. Life was working in the moment.
No, I got you. I'm just saying you said that you were hearing them before the recordings ever even started.
Yeah, but not a month before. The studio was happening, and I was living in Friar Park.
Right.
So I don't know. It's really difficult. I got clothes I couldn't find. I was just going through life. Cars and clothes and everything behind.
Girls.
I wasn't too worried about what date or day it was,
of course not.
or what time it was.
It was just a question, so I didn't know if you'd remember or not.
No.
Well, let me ask you this. George had done several albums before All Things Must Pass, and they were so vastly different.
Yeah.
What happened to suddenly make this happen?
I don't know.
Because it was so different.
I don't know. He had the availability of Eric and me. He knew that we were together out there at Hurtwood writing songs. And George, he called. I don't know what got him to call. What possessed him to call Eric and me and say, put together a band, because I want you to be the core group for my record. We didn't even know he was recording.
Well, don't you? Oh.
No, I heard the songs, but I didn't know that was what we were getting ready to do.
Well, then maybe perhaps he was thinking of, because you'd been with Delaney and Bonnie, he was influenced by that getting you and other American artists to play would bring that sound to his recording.
Probably.
I mean, because the English guys wouldn't be able to do that.
No, those guys, they couldn't play a B3 like me or Billy Preston. You'd have to be me or Billy Preston to get that sound and feel that gospel thing. He's doing My Sweet Lord, and he wants the gospel thing, so he got Bobby Whitlock and Billy Preston. You don't get much more gospel than that. We're both straight out of a gospel church, background,
right.
That whole gospel background. So we brought that to the table. All of that stuff from my upbringing paid off, big time. And they're messing around with my mama's pump organ in the living room. She couldn't play it, but I could. I figured it out.
Oh, I thought she played.
She played piano. She couldn't play pump organ. She couldn't get all that going. You got to get this. You got to have these bars here. You got to open them up like that, and then you got this bellows. You got to pump. Then you got these things you got to pull out. Then when you're playing, then there's the tempo of the song, and none of it's the same. Nothing is like that. No, it's not like a drums kit where it's all connected. No, this thing you got to keep the bellows pumped up. It's like a bagpipe,
Let me just say, that looks so crazy that you would be the only person that could pull it off.
Oh hell, I can pull it off. I made it right. Yeah.
So when you
yeah.
hear that pump organ, we can see you playing it.
Yeah, and there's another one on Try Some, Buy Some. It goes, sounds like mandolins. And it goes,
Yes.
that's my organ part. And then he went ahead and put a symphony on it.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it is the, oh, my hand's freezing up. Sorry. It is the 50th anniversary, of course, of All Things Must Pass,
Yeah.
and so that's why we're on here.
Yeah, and the Layla. So pretty wild, you know. All
Well,
things
and
first, and
What's
then
What's wild is that they're really linked together.
yeah, they are
Yeah.
both linked together.
Because
The
it's
rhythm
where-
section, both of them.
Where your band started, Derek and the Dominoes,
Yep.
and George's great record
Yeah,
was
yeah,
made.
yeah.
So they're really like, to me, just twins.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, yeah. So we went straight out of George and recorded.
Well,
Layla.
congratulations for surviving this long to tell
Huh?
the tale. Congratulations for surviving
Oh yeah,
to tell
yeah,
the
yeah.
tale.
I got a few things, you know, bumps and nicks and missing teeth and stuff.
Car
from
parts.
my car wrecks and my wild youth, but I had a lot of fun. I have no regrets, 0 regrets. No,